Bacchanal, oh Bacchanal, oh I'm ready for it. Oh, Bacchanal.
And what final words of advice can you give the aspiring producers?
My words of advice to aspiring producers and beatmakers would be to master your craft. A lot of guys just jump into it and get a laptop or get a computer and they just start producing and think that's it. I don't need to know anything more. But it's very important to master your craft. Master the software that you use, know it inside out. Look for courses or any sort of certification on it as well, because having the paperwork goes a long way also. With that also, doing music theory is equally as important, because you can't produce music without having an understanding of music or music theory. So a lot of producers and beatmakers nowadays, they don't have an understanding of it. Some of them use their A and they get by to an extent, but they may still have a wrong chord or a wrong note or a wrong harmony or something inside. So it's very important to have an understanding of the music side of it. Learn an instrument or just do music theory, and that will take you a long way.
The Community Comfort Patrol Program, the CCP, is an initiative of the Ministry of National Security geared towards reducing the fear of crime being experienced by the citizenry and enhancing the feeling of safety and security among residential communities throughout Trinidad and
It is
Tobago.
administered by the Office of Law Enforcement Policy in conjunction with the Private Security Network Commission.
The objectives of the CCP are to act as a visible deterrent to criminal activity in residential communities by instituting regular mobile patrols, enhance the relations between communities and state's law enforcement assets by actively engaging community members. Community Comfort Patrol Program. One mission, many communities.
This ad is sponsored by Strategic Asset Solutions.
You've been waiting for it, and now here it is. The GT, where you find out you get true or you're gone true.
My God, what's this Sanj? Hey, we're back. Yes, I.
Welcome back, Beat Builders. We're at the moment of truth now. We have an elimination to do, and one of you, unfortunately, your track will be muted. So I hand you over to our judges.
Guys, first things first, we were really impressed. We love the beats for young producers. We think that you'll definitely have the potential to enter the field and definitely contribute songs that, you know, will make great songs for artists. Beats that will make great songs for artists. The first beat we listened to was Real Steel. Real Steel, we went in there with, you know, good vibes, good feelings, definitely good programming, and you know, we were impressed by the choice of sample, of course, and the way, you know, you transition from 8 bars to 8 bars. There were a lot of changes, a lot of musical things coming in. As some things came in, some things went out. A lot of counter melodies in there, and you know, it was basically overall sounding like, you know, you already had a song in mind when you was programming the beat. So you know, I thought it was an overall good feel.
I mean, great work overall. I had a few concerns. Where to start? The drum tones, that I'm very particular with drums. So just the selection. What software are you using?
Logic.
Right. It just sounded like if you use some of the stock tones, and that is something in our field we try to stay away from. Try to, I don't know, like source sample packs from renowned producers.
Yeah.
That kind of pre-mixed and pre-treated, so that when you use it, now everything beefy and ready to go.
Banging.
But definitely something you will get with experience and
of course
also a little cash, you know, like when you produce some big songs, some big songs, you know, you'll buy some tunes, you know. So I think, you know, you did a overall good job.
No, it was good overall. We still debating the sample issue because we don't know where it's from, and that could be trouble.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on if it's not cleared.
Yeah.
Or if we don't have permission for it.
Yeah.
So.
The sample was from royalty-free loops.
Okay.
From Loopaman.
Alright.
Website.
Cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
hopefully I keep him out here in gas cross like loops is now. Okay.
Alright. But good job overall.
Thank you.
We can move on to Serenity. I mean, I will touch on the few issues that I had. Good job overall. I mean, I like the difference that you came with. It wasn't expected. So it was a different twist. The one thing that stood out to me was the quantization. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. That is, I know it was loose, yes, but at some parts I was a little shaky.
Right.
And that true. I guess both of us off at times. We're trying to stay with it, but then it kind of shaking us at a few points.
We talk about the fact that that is kind of a style today in programming, to be off the quantization and to create the real feel.
Yeah.
And I often experience that with Casey and a lot of the things that we're working on, and we go back and forth.
I wasn't sure if it was on purpose or not.
But ultimately, even if
it was
something
on purpose, it still was a little too much.
Yeah.
Because it still have to be, I guess, danceable.
Correct.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I mean, the mix overall was a little harsh, but I don't want to judge on the mix because I know everybody had limited time to really get everything done.
Yeah. For me, the quantization was definitely an issue. But I really like the creativity with the synths in the beginning. The use of the sample in there, it's always cute to have a good sample. And I think overall, there was a little bit of repetition of the parts coming in every 8 bars. We might look for something new to come.
Right.
We wanted some more to come, but we definitely see the creativity and the soca element in there. With these club tones, there was a certain part where the chords went down and break down, and it reminded me of LMFAO or a big dance song that I was, familiar with. So I think that was a good and a plus. But we definitely want these things to be mixed at a level where your song, even in demo, even in production, and you want to present it to an artist, have to be kicking and impressive from the jump. So overall, I think that was a good job. Uzi beats, the Uzi was fine from the beginning. The beat was very bassy. It was getting all the kick drums, all the elements. We see the dance tones. We see a lot of familiar things that we know about with the modern day producers and the experienced producers, swishes, risers, and all. And I think that was pretty impressive. I, in particular, had a little issue with not enough changes happening. It sounded like you had an 8 pattern, an 8 pattern, an 8 pattern, and it will go back around and come around into that loop over and over. But I mean, I was impressed with the mix. I think it was really good, and I know Casey is the man who could really come.
Yeah, the overall mix was I guess the Sonics were on point, as we said before. The only thing one of the things we noticed was the lack of melody. Because I like the skeleton of it, but it didn't have any sections for melody for like a songwriter to actually come and create hooks. So it would more fit an artist that would do chanting or raps or something. That might be one of the downfalls on it. What else? There was a swing in the percussion. I know it's that kind of techno thing that they have, but
hip hop.
I don't know what's the term.
Hip hop.
Like a 16D,
16 triplet, yeah.
Swing. That with the soca was kind of fighting each other a little bit. So that was one of the things that we were battling with inside of it. But overall, it was a good attempt.
So what we basically saying is that, I mean, to make it this far, you'll have to definitely stand out from the rest of the pack, and everybody here is a winner. But the challenge has been put to us to eliminate somebody, and the beat we think that will have to be eliminated will have to be the one with the most shortcomings, the ones that had the most elements, just like if you was on a cooking show and you didn't have salt, or you burn the meat. Those basic things you can't really come back from. And the track tonight that we went after eliminate, unfortunately, will be Serenity. Because of the quantization was a little bit off, that we couldn't definitely see past. those errors.
I'm in agreement with that. So unfortunately, great job, but with the challenge, yeah, your track has been muted.
Alright, guys.
Keep your head high. Please keep
Stay at it.
Appreciate the feedback, definitely we'll take that moving forward. And I hope at some point in time we all get the opportunity to collaborate.
For sure.
So guys, best of luck to you guys.
Maybe get done now.
Best of luck.
And now start.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Casey. Thank you for your time.
Great work.
When you're represented for women thus far, so
As much as
keep
possible.
doing it. Keep flying that flag, Serenity.
I'm happy that we've come to the end of building the beats. I'm happy that there's been a result. I am happy to see that everything that went into this project has culminated in finality. That despite whatever negativity was thrown at the show, at the competitors, at anybody associated with it, that everybody persevered through, and we are still here today shooting this episode, that we are still able to produce this and to give you something, despite whatever challenges was met along the way. So I am happy that I've made it this far. I'm happy that I networked with everybody that was on this show. I am happy that I learned things about myself. I learned things as a producer, as an engineer. I learned a lot on this show. And I feel as though the placement is one thing, but I'm a winner in my own sense. And as I said before, the first challenge that I actually produced something in 4 hours, I won. I won the entire competition within myself, because that was something I had never done before. Never before produced something in 4 hours or less.
Well, that is always the hardest part. Because we want you all to know that even though we may eliminate people tonight, it doesn't mean that you're not a winner, or it doesn't mean that you're a loser. Every closed door is many more open, and you have to keep reaching for the stars.
Definitely.
So we want to come down to now these 2 tracks battling for which beat was built the best. And I think at one point in time there was a challenge to build songs for Machel Montano, or songs that Machel Montano might be able to jump on. And I remember going over some of those and not really finding any of them that was really ready. And I think sometimes the pressure could be on when you have to build a beat for such a huge artist, or such an established artist, and then we came to this challenge. And Casey, I think this challenge had better outcome, better products, better rhythms, better beats that we felt, definitely showed the real skill of the producers here. To separate these 2 is tough. And in one sense where one stands up, one might fall down. And in one sense where one falls down, one will stand up. But ultimately I think we had to use the goal of the competition, or the goal of the prize, or the goal of the end result to make the decision. Uzi Beats, you definitely had the best mix track, with a little missing melodies and missing things that we wanted. You definitely had the melodies that we wanted, but the mix was definitely something that could be better, and even the tones that were there in drums could be better. Casey, I don't know if you want to say anything.
I'm in agreement with that. I guess the overall outcome was to be able to have a song to present out of this challenge. And that's kind of where we had to base the decision. On overall. It was kind of going back and forth.
We're going back and forth, because ultimately this is something that we do today as we speak, making music. Young producers bring beats to us, we hear beats. I will bring it to Casey, he will bring young producer beats to me and say, hey, here's this good beat, and then we will go in and start to fix things like the kick, the snare, but it must always have something that we feel is special,
some
and
magic,
unique, and some
to
magic
work from.
So without further ado, we're going to give all our decision. As we say, the both songs, the both beats look like they were up to par, but ultimately the beat that we feel we couldn't take right now and make into a song was done by Uzi Beats. Uzi Beats, it definitely will be a producer that will be known out there very soon. and you definitely have the sonics, and I think you got beat only in this challenge because it was a matter of that is the choice you made to produce that beat, and produce that beat that really didn't have the chord structures and the patterns that could create a song. It doesn't mean it wasn't up to par, it wasn't slamming, it wasn't something that we enjoyed. We're going to have to take the winning beat and definitely create a song. And I'm sure that, you know, when the cookies drop or when the chips fall the next time, you will definitely have something that we could make a song to. So congratulations to making it this far, and thanks for your talent.
Congrats, brother. Yeah, no, no start. No start.
Don't dig no horrors that the beat was me there. Respect.
The mad scientist goes back into the laboratory. Thank you, Zibit.
Yeah.
Everybody win tonight, you know what I mean? Yeah. Massive forward from Burton, your TV on, bro.
So Real Steel?
Yes, brother.
You're on top of the world. I mean, we were really loving your beat. We love the vibes. You know, not because you're from Separia.
I know that's a great factor. Not because of that, but because of the music.
Because of the music. The music stood up. And even if we were to not use the sample, they still have some nice things in there. Something very memorable for me is the stabs of the brass. Bra, 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 bra. I love the texture. I love what you do. I love the little back synths that I hear coming in there. You know, I would definitely want to replace some of the repetitive percussion with live percussion, live tones. But we have a master like Casey who I know will go in there and probably change other things.
Want to change? I think the flute also.
Yeah.
There's some of the tones.
There's a little flute in the beginning that song like Puff. And sometimes, you know, when we hear things, even though they're in the subliminal and they may be inspired, there's a thin line between whether we could do this or we can't do this. And we'll immediately go in there and dash that way, as we say. But you know, I think there are a lot of things that you have in there that will stay. And I think you prove to stand the test of time. And I look forward to actually putting my voice on something really powerful that is created for this track.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Well, I give thanks first of all to the Most High for the blessings of the talent. You know, because I mean, from a young age coming up, I've been around so many great talents. You know, Big B in the days of Best Village, La Pastora Chorale. You know, around even Panasonic Express from back in the day, Joey Rivers, you know, and being a musician myself, you know, playing pan, the national instrument, and play a little keyboards too, do a little writing and stuff like that. That experience has brought me to understand the whole concept of the formula of music, how music is made, how instruments talk to each other, how a band works.
Sometimes you have to keep it simple. Sometimes you have to put all your skill into one thing and into something easy. And I think this was the masterpiece that won you the top spot. Congratulations, Real Steel. You are the winner of Building the Beats.
First season.
Respect.
Yeah, man. Love and
and done. Go do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Real Steel. So we look forward to that monster track.
And dealing with
funk,
very serious
and precision.
Yeah.
More times.
Plenty more to go. No more fuck you.
Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And we look forward to a lovely piece from y'all and Real Steel. Building the Beats, Season 1. We have a winner, Chris Real Steel Lawrence. And we out.
I was feeling ecstatic. Very, very ecstatic, you know. It was a great feeling because it's a feeling of accomplishment, and everyone knows the feeling of accomplishment, you win, you know, so it's joy. But this feeling is a feeling I've been having ever since, you know, I started playing music from a young age coming up. Every time we're on stage or every time I'm creating something, it's feeling and I get. So I do feel it. The final critics in the studio with Marshall and Casey is very informative because it comes from people who have years under the belt in this music business and they know what they're about, right? Especially Mr. Marshall Montana, who's a creator of music. He is an artist, as you call an artist, you know. And coming from him, his experiences and things like that, it was very, very, very. But Marshall Montana and Casey Phillips, dream team, you know, teamwork, team, you know, Real Steel, anybody out there, team, you know. Anything you have in your head, any idea, anything you hear in your head, call me. Right? You can, alright, where you can find Real Steel? You can find Real Steel on Facebook, Real Steel Reggae. You can find Real Steel. You can hit me up on email, chris.steel.lawrence, that's KRIS.SEWL.lawrence@gmail.com. You might call on the business phone 316-2990 and let me make some hits because I ain't gonna stop here. This is just the beginning of you knowing me. I already began a long time ago. I've been doing this for years. And I could give some history, but I want to go way, way, way back. But you know, it comes from this is 25 years ago. I was number one. Always have been number one. 25 years. Now I'm still number one. Mr. Sound talking about that the other day. She said, boy, you know 25 years ago you were 12 and then you kids and things. I said, check it out. So you forget to stop with the talent too. And you forget this one and that. So if you're born winning out there. But give thanks and praise to the merciful Father for his blessings, for the opportunities, the people he put around us to push us forward. Yeah. No matter what genre of music in your head, forward. This is something you'll be hearing for the rest of your life. Real deal music.
Welcome to the story of indigenous banking. The story of how homegrown banking changed the face of a nation and put the power of money into the hands of everyday people who work hard to earn that money. INNOVATION. Innovation. From the verb innovate, from the Latin word innovare. In and novare together. In means, well, in. Novare is to make new. In the modern world of business and technology, the use of the word innovation has become super popular. And yes, the word itself creates visions of the super modern, cutting edge, state-of-the-art, and trendy. But let's explore the world of an organization with a whole history of innovation, one that goes back an entire century, like First Citizens. First Citizens itself was an innovation. The bank was really invented in 1993 to bring to reality a vision for equal services and opportunities for all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The bank is an amalgamation of 3 banks, 3 of the country's first and only indigenous banks that may have otherwise totally closed their doors back in the 90s. The National Commercial Bank, the Trinidad Cooperative Bank, and the Workers' Bank became First Citizens. Each bank was an innovation in response to demands for reforms and equality for the working class after World War I. A quick flyby of just some of the first that make up the First Citizens' history of innovation. First bank to lend 90% of the value of a house. First bank in the region to approve mortgage loans to women. First to introduce automated teller machines to TNT. First to offer mobile and telebanking. First in the Caribbean to introduce online banking. first bank to introduce the Card for a Cause, the First Citizens Pink Card, where contributions are made to a worthy cause, ending violence against women. First local bank to issue a Visa Gold credit card. First local bank to receive the highest international credit rating from Standards & Poor's and Moody's Investors Services Incorporated. First local bank to simultaneously hold the ranking of Bank of the Year and Best Bank bestowed by The Banker magazine, Latin Finance, and World Finance. First Citizens, listed as the safest bank in the Caribbean. So it turns out that innovation isn't just about technology and gadgets. It's also about how we explore where we've been and how we determine where we go next. It's all innovation at First Citizens, the steps that any citizen takes every day. Join us at www.firstcitizenstory.com for more.
Couldn't make out what you told me, swear you did not say a word. I didn't notice when you showed me, 'cause the image was too blurred. I try to make it up to you if I could only figure out, and try to find the words to say, but they just never leave my mouth. It took a while for me to know just where to turn. I'm sorry for the way now. Go leave your mark upon the world. If there was one thing that you can take from this, just know when there's nothing more to say, just let your life take it from here. When there's nothing